Doctor Who, mate, it is on the brink of a brand new era. The idea of a Whoniverse has been thrown around for the longest period of time, and it looks like Russell T Davies is finally being the one to finally make it happen. We're having a Doctor Who expanded universe, probably. Good golly gosh, there's rumors left, right and center as to what spin-off could be coming first, and that got me thinking. If I was Russell T Davies, which I'm not, but if I were, what would I do as showrunner or producer of the Whoniverse? I have created the release slate, the ultimate one, the one that everyone's going to agree on, the perfect one. Nothing could go wrong with this slate. This is phase 1 of Aidan Green's master plan, 5 years, and this is taking into account what we already know that's coming. So the November specials, the idea that Ncuti's there, 8 episode recurring seasons. But before I get into that, if you enjoy this video and you like Doctor Who, then maybe you should subscribe to this channel, because me and my good friend Connor, every single Monday, we sit down and we talk Doctor Who. We just shoot the shit and we just chat about the latest news, the oldest episodes. We go back and forth, we have a laugh, we have some beers, usually get drunk, and on the latest episode I talked about grabbing Connor's nuts quite a lot.
You're not a medical professional, you can't check my nuts.
But I'd like to.
Wow.
So make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with all the latest Doctor Who news in a fun and casual, relaxed environment. Alright, so let's get into the Whoniverse. Clean slate, let's go. We're starting off with what we already know, November 2023, the David Tennant 60th anniversary specials. David Tennant's back in the role, Catherine Tate's there, Neil Patrick Harris, 3 specials in November. We know that's coming, and then we know what's following that in December is going to be Ncuti Gatwa, his first official episode as the Doctor, introducing Millie Gibson as the companion in a Christmas special. We've seen them shooting that relatively recently. We know that that's coming. We know that those 4 episodes are the only bits of Doctor Who we're getting this year. So 2024 is when we're going to slowly start the rollout of the Whoniverse, okay? We're going to have Series 14 first. Series 14 is going to air in April. I know that RTD's been pretty certain that he wants to have Doctor Who on air all the time throughout the year. So we're going to roll into this first in April. April just seems like the best time to show Doctor Who. But this is where things are going to pick up a little bit. This is when we're going to start the Whoniverse growing with our very first spin-off. In October 2024, we are going to have a 6-episode crime drama style unit spin-off in the same vein of Line of Duty, that grounded, kind of gritty show, a little bit more adult. I want this to be a 6-part story, okay? It's like a mystery. It's unraveling as we go through. In December 2024, we're going to get another Doctor Who Christmas special. We know that Russell T Davies has already written one. He said that in Doctor Who magazine a few months ago. So we know that's going to be there. Another lovely 60-minute Christmas special starring Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. 2025, this is the big one. We introduced a unit spin-off in 2024. In 2025, we're going all out Whoniverse. It's going to be the biggest year Doctor Who has had in bloody years, mate. New Year's Day is one 60-minute special called Return to Bannerman Road. This has your favorite characters from the Sarah Jane Adventures returning to Bannerman Road. It's going to be nostalgic, it's going to be sweet, probably a big tribute to Elizabeth Sladen in there. And it's going to be like a checking in, like how are these characters doing like a decade later? They're going to be adult, dealing with more adult problems. And perhaps we also could leave a few loose ends. Could this special act as a pilot for a bigger spin-off, a recurring series to come down the road? Only I know the answer to that. April 2025, we're getting Doctor Who Series 15, once again showing Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. Millie Gibson will depart the role at the end of the season, making way for a new companion and keeping the show fresh. Ncuti Gatwa will continue. But I know what you're saying, let's get some diversity on the calendar, you know? Let's get different styles of show. Well, okay, I've got the answer for you. With Keepers of Time. Now this, some people are going to hate it. Big Finish lovers are probably going to love it. This is going to be a 8-part series in the realm of House of the Dragon, centered around the Time War. Well, the Time Lords in the lead up to the Time War. You're going to have Paul McGann in there in a regular capacity. You're going to have the War Doctor in there in a regular capacity. These are going to be 2 big faces, probably our 2 main characters in the show, but we're also going to create some big Time Lord characters, people with a bit of authority behind them, and a lot of bad guys, you know? Time Lords aren't the good guys a lot of the time, so we want to see the bad guys, how they work, and ultimately how Time Lord society ended up collapsing in on itself. It's going to be a little bit political, but we're going to have some big large-scale stuff in there as well, hence why I say very similar to House of the Dragon. To keep things fresh on Christmas in 2025, we're not going to do a Doctor Who Christmas special because I think that you don't want one every year, they get a bit stale. What we are going to do is a bit of another soft pilot, a 60-minute special called The Diaries of River Song. Yes, that's the Big Finish title, I know. So this is a 60-minute special of River Song doing River Song things, and hopefully it will set up a story arc to continue in a full series down the line. 2026, January. This is when we're going to have the untitled Sarah Jane Adventures adult spin-off. So, like I said, Return to Bannerman Road, that's going to set up some characters. They're going to return here. This is going to be 8 episodes. It's probably going to be similar vibe to Class in a good way in terms of that young adult, but these characters are going to be a bit older now, dealing with these like mid to late 20s problems, very relatable for me as a mid 20s person. April 2026, we're going to have the Unit spin-off season 2, continuing an ongoing story that was established in season 1. September 2026, we're having Doctor Who series 16. Wahey! I know, we were looking at April every year to do an 8-episode series of Who. Well, we're pushing it back to September this year purely because as much as Russell says he wants to do a series every year, you bet it's not going to last forever because these shows make a long time to produce, and especially if you start producing more shows and more spin-offs, that stuff takes time. Yes, some of them can shoot at the same time, but you're going to have larger gaps between your shows. But hey, we're still looking at one a year, just like a bit more, maybe a bit more than a year. Well, you'll be fine, stop complaining. But don't worry, you'll get more Doctor Who very quickly, because on Christmas Day 2026, I'll hit you up with another Shooty Gatwa Doctor Who Christmas special. He's still the Doctor, by the way, at this point. He's not going anywhere. Not yet. He will be soon, but not yet. January 2027. Oh, we're getting tidy now. It's getting big. You remember that show Sherlock by Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat? Well, we're going to do a similar thing here with The Diary of River Song. It's going to be 3 90-minute blockbuster adventures telling a story of River Song as she goes through the universe. We can see her doing her archaeological stuff. We can see her going to space parties. I think we were told a lot about River in the show, but we never really got to see her do it. We never got to see her really being an archaeologist. She's like Space James Bond. And I'd love to see that in this show and explore it with 3 individual episodes that tie in with a bit of a theme and have a bit of a through line in the same way that Sherlock did. March 2027, we're going to begin rolling out a 10-episode, 20-minute animated series of Doctor Who called Companions of the Doctor. Now this is going to be just checking in with your companions after the Doctor. It's going to be like a 20-minute fun adventure. It's going to be the most child-friendly show that I'm going to do as showrunner. You're going to have Billy Piper on Another World. You can have Nicola Bryant on Another Planet. And the reason I want it to be animated is because, one, it's going to be cheaper to get those big actors back to just have them in a room for a couple of days to do voice recordings. 2, it's hard to get big actors together. If there was a chance of getting Karen Gillan, you're probably not going to have her available at the same time as Arthur Darvill. So being able to record those remotely and combine them in post, I think would just be the most achievable way of showcasing companions of past. It just allows for more variety in storytelling, I think. And like I said, I really want this slate of Doctor Who to have a variety in tone. So making this a younger, more cartoon-style show, I think just adds a bit of a breath of fresh air after the big bombastic adventures of River Song. In July 2027, we're going to have the second series of the untitled Sarah Jane Adventures adult spin-off. This is going to push them more back into the world of Doctor Who, where we're going to have an adventure in those 8 episodes where they meet Unit. So you establish a relationship between this like ragtag team of people, I guess similar to Torchwood, and Unit. We're combining people. We're starting to bring stuff together in here. They have that connection. September 2027, we're then going to have a little series that I want to call The Masters of Time. Whoa! So this is going to be a sequel series to The Keepers of Time. During the Time War, the Time Lords start tampering, and they're trying to make time work in their favors here. I want this to be a similar vibe to Loki, that's kind of deep dark space vibe. Who is going to be our protagonist in the series is the War Master, and it's going to be him trying to set things right because he knows if the Time Lords try and rewrite time, Perhaps they don't have a place for such a criminal like himself in their society. Then in December 2027, we're going to have Ncuti Gatwa's last Christmas special. Not his last outing as the Doctor though, because that will come in 2028, which is the climax of my phase 1 of my master plan, which is Doctor Who Series 17? 17. This is going to be like your Avengers Endgame, right? Like I said before, we've set up a few groups. We've set the Sarah Jane Adventure Guys to Animate unit, and we're going to bring everyone together. It's going to become very serialized in the back end of the series as we tell a massive blockbuster thing that will lead up to the end of Ncuti Gatwa's run. He will generate at the end of this series. That's me. That's my plan of what I'm going to do when Russell T Davies gives me a phone call and says, "Hey, brother, I got a job for you here at Bad Wolf. You're going to lead Doctor Who, my man." I know there's things that I will instantly regret about putting this out there. I know there's different spin-off ideas that will have just gone over my head here and there. Perhaps I'm not leaving enough room for new characters in these spin-offs. I don't know. Let me know what you guys would want out of a Doctor Who spin-off, because I think everyone wants different things. And every now and then you hear someone's idea and it's so unique. And it's like, that's what we need. That's what we need. Like I said, subscribe to this channel for more silly content, for funny things, for funny chats about Doctor Who. And there's a new episode coming out every Monday. Make sure you like this video. My name has been Aidan Green. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast or another video very, very soon. Thank you, and good night.